I assume that this was about a banana because of the last word right there. If not, I'm very disappointed in the Indian language.
I'm just Indian to know.
You know the saying, ignorance is bliss? Yeah, you know, it's just ignorance. Because today, due to a very special person, I realized that. Ignorance. Now, throughout this PewDiePie T-Series saga, there's been a lot of duty flung here and, you know, tossed there. Generally in the form of misinformation, false truths, and sometimes just plain out douchebaggery. And while honestly, T-Series versus PewDiePie is old news, the final battle has only just begun. One that threatens not just you or me, but everyone. Though depressing thoughts aside, there are those who want to bridge the gap of these misunderstandings, and no one screams, "Bridge the gap," like Western YouTuber and professional goof, Twoon, who recently uploaded a very accurate video that has been shown much love by the kind people of India. The comments commending his statements. Congrats, Twoon, you've done it. You've successfully brought us together and... What?
He didn't do anything.
What do you mean?
He just pissed everyone off.
What do you mean he got everything wrong? Insane T-Series fan wants to hang PewDiePie. Looks like someone made a little bit of an oopsie.
Stupid idiots are gonna love this shit.
What's that smell? Could it be ignorance? Oh wait, no, this can't be. Twoon has only ever uploaded the most insightful content, such as "Don't Spread AIDS," KSI and Deji versus parents. Yeah, good message in that one. Now listen, I'm no Carrie Minotti, but let's help Twoon here butt chug some accurate information about India's true power. So what does Twoon have to say about Carrie Minotti's insane attack on PewDiePie?
You do know that roasts are usually supposed to actually be about factual statements. Probably tastes as bad as the water that you have in your country.
Ignorance.
So I just got back from a birthday party and already drank a lot. I should generally just not do this.
No, you should not do this. If you were listening right off the bat, he admits to being a tad intoxicated, which is obviously the best time to shoot a video because, you know, you're fresh, collected, just prime to discuss something that you know nothing about. Throughout the video, he takes critical, well thought out digs at India. Yeah, right. But maybe, you know, I'm judging too abruptly.
The Indian community hasn't really been liking PewDiePie. You know how sarcasm works, right? Like, I know that your native language isn't English, but...
See, his main criticism up front is that Indians don't understand English because it isn't their native language, and therefore, they can't get sarcasm. Oh, you mean like this sarcasm?
Squeeze's joke may have been a little bit distasteful. Probably tastes as bad as the water that you have in your country.
Yeah, I think they understood that loud and clear. So Indians just don't understand English, that's the problem? Well, spread those cheeks, Twoon. Here's your first chug of knowledge. India just so happens to be the second largest English-speaking country, with over 125 million fluent speakers. And in a proper educational qualification, English is actually a mandatory language to learn in India. Though on top of that, India has 22 major languages, many of the citizens being bilingual. And after listening to Twoon's video, I'm not sure English is his first language. I'm thinking his first language is bullshit. Though Twoon, buddy, since you come from the 6th most English literate country, I'll give you a pass on your lack of proper sentence structure. Maybe this Indian can help you speak more clearly.
Indians are very good at forgiving and forgetting, so they're forgotten as well, which is what I object to. Let them forgive, but let them not forget.
Wow, this Indian speaks English more fluent than most Westerners.
I may not be able to walk a straight line anymore, but I can still throw straight punches. Alright, that didn't even come out straight, but fine, let's first go over to the comments.
You know, that's a good idea. Let's take a step back and look at the comments. It's a great way to gauge what the audience is feeling about a video. Whoa, I didn't know this guy could speak Hindi. Maybe I owe him an apology.
I assume that this was about a banana because of the last word right there. If not, I'm very disappointed in the Indian language. I'm just...
You know, I wonder what was going through his mind before filming this video. Though actually looking at his other content, I'm pretty sure thinking properly is beyond his capacity. It makes me sad, you know? Another child left behind. Now, being a Westerner myself, still learning Hindi, I'm not going to pretend like I can pronounce every word correctly, or that I know India's culture like the back of my hand. Wait, what the hell happened to my hand? But that doesn't stop Twoon, no. And to mock someone else's language just because you don't understand it is not only insensitive, but it just makes you look stupid.
Nah.
Did your father not hug you enough as a child, Twoon? Do you just need some love? Sure, any language you are not fluent in sounds weird. We all judge things based on our own mindset and the culture that we are familiar with. So just because you don't know Hindi doesn't mean it's ridiculous. But what was that statement about sarcasm again? Oh yeah.
In today's video, we will be having a look at some weeaboos of the Indian community who don't understand how sarcasm works.
Sarcasm. Indians just can't understand sarcasm. Well, you know, maybe Twoon here, YouTube genius and sarcasm expert, can educate us.
You would think that these Indians are actually taking this as a joke and that this is like a sarcastic video just for entertainment purposes. But the way you portray yourself and the way other people portray themselves...
Wait. The Indians are taking this too seriously? You do know that Carrie Minati's By Pewdiepie is a satirical diss track in response to PewDiePie's so-called satirical diss track? I thought you said you understood sarcasm.
You know how sarcasm works, right? Right?
You know, for someone who understands sarcasm so well, you can't seem to detect it. Here's a thought, maybe sarcasm is different depending on the culture that you're in.
That's a threat. That's an actual threat right there. Go change your number. We know you are pissed. We'll use you, then abuse you, berate you on the streets. I mean, if you're going to roast someone, you better expect some roast backs, my boy. Mwah.
Yeah, and next time you roast someone, like Carrie Minati, make sure you get the proper English translations. That way you don't look like this. Ever think about that? And of course, his ignorance would be incomplete without an inaccurate Indian dancing clip and stereotypical Bollywood fight scene. But this video isn't over, no, not by a long shot. See, Twoon needs to get to 10 minutes for that AdSense. So my friend Twoon, you know, decided to sit down, slap on his diplomatic cap, and solve the major issues India faces. Just kidding, all he does is list them.
You seem to have a problem with traffic, overpopulation, rape culture, misogyny, equal pay, regular crime, a little bit worse crime, kind of really bad crime.
Blah, 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 blah. Overpopulation, misogyny, equal pay, crime, rivers full of bacteria, hunger. Wow, that's a mouthful. Congrats, you know how to use Google and read inaccurate articles. Now let's pretend for a minute like Twoon did his research, which is difficult because, you know, it's this guy. But let's pretend. Let's take each claim one by one. Now, unlike Twoon here, I'm not an expert on Indian culture or history, so these are all just the basics. I'd personally love to know your deeper thoughts on the misconceptions in the comments down below. India's overpopulation. Now, Twoon isn't completely wrong. Overpopulation is a true issue within India. However, this is actually a world issue, not just one within India, causing hunger, poor hygiene, etc. in many places. But to bash one country for a problem that exists even in societies such as our own is a little ill-informed. One thing that we often forget is that India was at a time a colony of Britain, and many of the issues attributed to India today were a result of the rule from the British.
There's no real awareness of the atrocities, the fact that Britain financed its industrial revolution and its prosperity from the depredations of empire.
Who's to say what would have happened if India was never colonized at all? But Ryan, how about India's horrible misogyny and unequal pay? Twoon, my poor Twoon. History class was not kind to you, was it? Now, if you didn't know, historically, the entire world has had a male-dominant society. And India, being so densely populated, the percentage for abuse would naturally be higher. That being said, things are always constantly changing around the world, and especially in India. Issues of equal pay, believe it or not, stretch to other countries, even into the United States, supposedly the freest land in the world. You know, behind Finland, Norway, and all the others. But things are truly changing in India due to its high power of representation. India is, in fact, the world's largest democracy. This year alone saw one of the world's largest women's marches ever, showing that change is, in fact, possible. Oh, but you know, crime is running rampant in India, isn't it, Twoon? Ignorance. Again, overblown misconception. India, 1.3 billion people. That's a little over a lot. Just by sheer number, of course you can say crime would be high. However, this is often exaggerated in the media and, by the unknowing. I'm sure you know who we're talking about. But possibly the most ignorant claim was that of India's rivers full of bacteria.
Squeezer's joke may have been a little bit distasteful. Probably tastes as bad as the water that you have for your country. What? For your country.
Idiot. Gosh, Twoon, aren't we just so lucky to live in the Western world where we never have any problems with our water?
Just assume our water is safe to drink, not the citizens of Flint, Michigan.
A horrifying crisis that branded Flint as the nation's poster child for government gone wrong.
Through no fault of their own, they were poisoned by their state's government screwing something up.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Now forget about the pollution in the cities and things other countries around the world are facing. Environmentally speaking, India is much further ahead than you might think, even holding the largest solar plant within its borders. While the rest of the world is, twiddling their thumbs, India is taking action. But the Ganges River, Ryan, it's so dirty. Twoon, I don't know if you've heard, but in India, there's a large percentage of people that are Hindu. And in Hinduism, it's a holy tradition to add ashes of the dead to the river as a tribute to that person and to God. Because we all unite in death. And I won't knock it, okay? Pollution is a major problem, but one that I believe can be tackled within India effectively. And this game of, oh, you have dirty water, so we're better than you, is ridiculous. All of this is only the tip of the iceberg we all find ourselves on. I've only touched upon these misconceptions about India. The real problem with Twoon and many others is their complete disregard for another's culture.
I'm very disappointed in the Indian language. Probably tastes as bad as the water that you have for your country. You know how sarcasm works, right?
You know how sarcasm works, right?
No one, especially you, Twoon, should judge another's country without first, understanding some semblance of what you're talking about. It's kind of like what you said in your own video.
What are you doing with your life, dude? Apparently this stuff falls under the category comedy. Now that by itself is probably a funnier joke than the actual thing that you made.
Ignorance is no excuse for comedy. So today's lesson, don't be stupid, don't be ignorant, basically, don't be Twoon. Instead of attacking each other with inaccurate, not well thought out claims, let's come together with acute information and a willingness to understand. This is how we bridge the gap. And I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below on how we can bridge the gap further. Remember, I'm Ryan, and I'll see you in the next video.